We're here in Barcelona at Mobile World Congress 2013, and today we're here with Huawei's Analyst meeting, talking about what's coming up in software-defined networking, or as Huawei likes to call it, SoftCom. Let's find out what's going on.
The theme for this year of Huawei, we call it Make It Possible. You can, beyond your imagination, make it possible. Okay, business transformation, network infrastructure transformation, and services enabling, you can think about it, because Internet of Things, you can imagine go beyond. This is why what the theme of the Make It Possible. Welcome again. It's our great pleasure to be here. Okay, thank you very much.
We're here with Brian Marshall from ISI Group. He just listened to what they had to say here at Huawei. What do you think, Brian? What's going on? Where do you see them going with software-defined networking and such? They're here in a huge way in Barcelona this year.
Sure. Thanks, Todd. You know, it's interesting because Huawei is one of the world's largest telecom equipment providers, but it's a private company, so it's kind of difficult. You can't go into their public filings and look at information, so it's very important to come here, hear what Huawei management has to say. I think SDN is going to be a huge development for the industry. It's going to be interesting to see how the company embraces it, but this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar market opportunity over the next several years, in our opinion.
And how do you think they're positioned against some of the larger competitors out there, or equal competitors, whether it's the Cisco's or Alcatel-Lucent and those types of companies?
Well, it's a bit early to say. I mean, I think SDN is the world's largest $0 billion market today, so it's really in its nascency. It's probably about 24 months old, so Cisco finally just came out with their overall platform, 1PK, so they're talking about within 2 years, basically SDN enabling all of their products. So it's going to be another 24 months for the leader in the space. So it's going to take some time, but I'm sure Huawei is going to have some interesting things to tell us.
Now, in your opinion, what does someone like Huawei need to do to win this space? Who are the winners going to be in this space?
Well, I think it's going to be the ones that have very entrenched customer relationships. So when you think about it, some of the early adopters in SDN will be the carriers, the service providers. Huawei has 40, the top 50 carriers out there, Huawei has 45 of them as customers. So they've got a very solid position in this space, and it's going to be interesting to see what these guys are trying to do with an SDN topology in their network.
Huawei has done a great job in making this company really global. I see today, of course, the new handset coming out, the P2, that was really impressive. And also I've talked a lot of the management services part that is growing really nice for Huawei, and they are taking this really seriously into new markets. So it's an exciting company, growing nicely also in difficult times.
You mentioned the new handsets, the P2 specifically. How do you think they're positioned to compete against some of the larger, more entrenched mobile handset manufacturers out there, which of course have better name recognition, at least in some parts of the world at this point?
Yes, of course, before this event has even started, it's a bit tricky to answer. We have to see what the other vendors will present as well. Of course, if you compare the P2 with Galaxy 3, etc., and it looks really neat. But we have to see what Samsung has up their sleeve as well.
Customer experience, big thing for Huawei, big area of focus. Exactly what are they doing in that space?
They're actually spending a lot of time and energy understanding from the operator's perspective how they can really improve the overall customer experience, because today it's not just about the network KPIs, it's not about understanding dropped calls, it's not just understanding throughput of web browsing, it's understanding the individual subscriber's experience, whether that be their emotional satisfaction, their net promoter scores, and how that's also changes with some of the network information. So if you tie both the network, which is the network KPIs, with the emotional, like the net promoter scores, that's when you can start really creating a customer experience index. And that's what Huawei's trying to do, because they understand the network and they're trying to really pay attention to what the customer care needs and bringing it all together.
And how are they doing vis-a-vis some of the other customers out there that you've seen in the industry? Do they have a long way to go? Are they right up there on top already? Where do they stand?
I just heard a report on this, and there's a lot of competition. You've got every one of the top network equipment providers like NSN and ALU, they're all paying attention to it. And then you've got niche providers that are doing customer experience analytics, but they don't necessarily have the network. And so there's a lot of competition, but what Huawei does have is the end-to-end experience where they can tie the what's going on in the network to actionable results and fixing it right away to improve the customer experience.